Okay. As you all know, we are now having a seminar and discussion on the subject of insurance. We plan to cover 6 topics, but before that, I would like to invite the panelists for the day. Mr. Jagdish Kotadia, can I ask you to step forward, please, and come on the dais? Please, sir. Mr. Santosh Chauhan, he is the regional manager of New India Assurance Company, who have also graciously sponsored this event for the day. Mr. Lakshya Tak, who is the Chief Business Manager again from New India Assurance. So just a short introduction of Mr. Jagdish Kotadia, who is an insurance agent himself, and he has arranged for this seminar, courtesy Tejas Tanna of Printman. He has been a New India Assurance agent for the last 45 years uninterrupted, and 20 times he has been adjudged as chairman club member for his performance. He's also Rotarian, important position in his club district. He loves traveling extensively. Thank you. So, I will request Mr. Jagdish to proceed with the presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. First of all, let me thank Mr. Tanna for inviting us today and gave us an opportunity to sponsor today's event. Since 1986, we have been insuring all properties of Mr. Tanna, that is Printman. And you can ask them experience with New India Assurance. It is a loyalty on both the sides. They are also not going anywhere else, and we also stick to them, and we are also giving the best of the service. Friends, New India being one of the largest company in India today, I will just summarize brief introduction of my company. I think I'll go that side. As I mentioned to you, it is our #1 general insurance company for more than 50 years in India. Same market leader since multiple decades. B++, I'm the best of Europe. It's not happening either way. AAA by CRISIL, BBB+, long-term insurer credit, highest solvency margin amongst PSU general insurance companies. ISO 27001 2013 certification, AAA IN exceptional by am the best. This is premier general insurance company with established brand, expansive multi-channel distribution, only general insurance company in India declared as DSII, domestic systematically important insurer in India. And you will observe it here that domestic market leader for 4 decades with a market share of 12.77. Now today there are 29 insurance companies in India, but still our market share is 12.77% as on 31st March 2024. But the present market share is 14.67%. So it has gone up. Superior capital, it's okay. No problem. Superior capital position, strong operating performance, strong market position. This is our strength. We are market leader in all major segments like fire, engineering, liability, health, aviation, marine hull. Highest net worth reserves, accretion and profits. Largest numbers of offices in India and abroad that you will see later. And we have regularly training to our our staff and including our managers also, they get training so that whatever the new products come, we get total training under that. First company to open overseas office in 1920. First company to set up an aviation insurance department in 1946. First company to handle the hull insurance requirement of the Indian shipping fleet. And first company to create department in engineering insurance and pioneer in satellite insurance. See, now we have completed 106 years, but when we completed 100 years, it was commemorative stamp issued by Indian Postal Department. These are our awards and recognitions. Some of them are from overseas also. Now presence in 25 countries across the globe. We have 29 regional offices, 14 corporate business offices, 1 IFSC, Gift City, Gandhinagar, 3 auto hubs and 1,673 branches. Financial results, gross return premium, 41,996 crore in 2023-24, which is again highest. No other company has reached this figure. Profit is 1,445 crores. Now here you can see market share. This has gone up in June. Now gross return premium is globally 41,996. You can see the graph. 2020-21 it is going up and up. Net worth is 21,135 crores. These are the newly launched products, and that Mr. Viswaranjan is here. He will give you some insight of this. Fire policies. This is also again fire policy. This is what about my company. See, we have head offices in Mumbai, we have regional office in Mumbai, and we have a claim hub also in Mumbai. So any approval of the proposal gets approved as fast as possible, and any claims we attend within 24 hours. Surveyors is appointed. Now I just shared my experience with some gentlemen here that a month back there was a flood at Sakinaka. It's similar what happened yesterday. And after submission of claim papers, I mean the day of flood, insured submitted the claim papers. In 23 days we settled the claim. Client got the money in their bank account. So this is what New India. Thank you. Now, I was also asked to give some presentation about some other small products. The one is marine policy. Marine cargo insurance relates to insurance of cargoes while transported by water, sea, river, air, rail, road, post parcel, courier, and the combination of each other. The different cargoes, don't go that fast. The different cargoes are dry bulk, liquid bulk, break bulk, containerized, ODC, cargo, RoRo, that is RoRo, the transportation, domestic and or international, that is purchase and sales. Now, here, thereafter, we also have hull. Hull is not, important to you, but I'll just mention it. It is a passenger carrying vessel, cargo carrying vessel, fish trawlers, tug, against the risk of loss or damage to the ships and consequent financial detriment suffered by various parties. Type of policies, we have open cover, we have open policy, annual sales turnover policy, which is given to printman, and specific cargo policy. Risk coverage this is why I have written specifically new cargo, because all risk is given only to new cargo. Used or second-hand cargo, we cannot give all risk cover. So it is domestic, ITA, warehouse to warehouse, loading and unloading, and SRCC, that is strike, rail, civil commotion. International is ICC-A is by sea, ICC-A air is by air travel, and again warehouse to warehouse, loading, unloading. War and SRCC, war is added in international. Base of premium, the kind of product and its characteristics, mode of packing, mode of transport, again domestic, export and import. This is what about the marine policy.
Jagdish bhai,
Yeah.
before you go forward,
Yeah.
so I would suggest that anybody who has questions on each of the kinds of insurance,
Yeah, please.
so first on marine insurance, everybody is free to raise their hands, but before that, if I may ask you, you had given there are 4 types of policies in marine. Can you go back to that slide? So if you can just elaborate on that.
Yeah,
I think your second slide.
it's not operating here.
Go back. Go back. Go back. पीछे जाओ. और पीछे. और.
Yeah. The first is open cover. Open cover, you are envisaging some imports, some exports, and the date of import, date of export is not yet certain. You would just give an application to insurance company about the product, from where it is coming or where it is going. This document is valid for 1 year, but in advance you have to deposit some premium with us. That is cash deposit account, we call it, not necessarily cash, but we call it cash deposit account. Immediately after the dispatch takes place, or you get the invoice, or you get the intimation that the goods are going to be dispatched, you inform us, we will issue the document.
So is this similar to what ECGC, the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, does, or this is something?
ECGC works absolutely different way.
Okay, so what does ECGC do and what does...
No,
your-
ECGC that we are not very, sir, are you aware of the ECGC?
They are only giving the credit.
Credit for insurance.
Credit insurance.
1 minute. Yeah, you can
See, open cover facilitate you if you are not aware of your consignment in advance, okay? And there are frequent consignments on regular basis. So if you take the open cover, you can cover them, because normally what happen in marine, you have to seek the insurance cover before the transit begins. But here there is a facility that if there is an export, within 72 years you can declare, after the journey commence, within 72 hours you can opt for the insurance. And in case of import, there is a window of 15 days. So even if any consignment is missed out, under open cover you will get a chance to cover even after the transit begins. Because normally in specific policies what happen, before your transit begins, you should have the insurance. But open cover give you the facility. Of course, there should be a sufficient amount of premium in APD account, as Kotadia said, to cover that particular transit. But this gives you that your consignment will not be missed out. Or if at all any missed out, you can cover it within that period. If it is export consignment, 72 hours, import consignment, 15 days. That is the advantage of open cover.
Okay, any follow-up question on that? Any query on that? Otherwise, can you now, Jagdish bhai, explain what is open policy?
So mainly it is held covered. So you are rest assured, as sir said, that it is held covered. You are definitely insured, you are definitely covered. Open policy. Open policy is normally when you have frequently consignments for, we can give for export also. Formerly it was banned. Now we give for export, or your general transit within India, that you are frequently sending the material to your customers. And it is not possible for you to inform us each and every consignment, and it is not possible for us also to give you the policy for each and every consignment. So that, for example, your turnover is say about 100 crores. You may initially take the policy for 10 crores or 15 crores. As and when you have the consignment, every weekly or fortnightly, you send us a declaration. Declaration will give the name of the consignee, LR number, your sum insured, date of LR, and the destination. That's statement you have to give us, and you have to ensure that the sum insured will not get exhausted. If sum insured gets exhausted before that, you enhance the sum insured. The policy period is for 12 months. And again, risk is covered, held covered.
So this is typically what generally all people take, open policies, if they don't have the annual turnover policy. So
that is different.
Yeah. So if you can explain the annual turnover policy.
Annual sales turnover policy is, again, it is basically on your sales. Your inter-depot transport is held covered. Your purchases are held covered, and it is obvious that sales is always more than purchase. And that we can give for domestic as well as international purchases and sales. Both can get covered. You have to give estimated. Now here, installment facility is not given, but we can give the premium that quarterly, what will be your expected sales. On the basis of that, we charge you the premium and we cover the insurance risk.
So that also covers exports?
Yes, yes.
And it's from anywhere in India to anywhere in the world.
Similar warehouse to warehouse, but at present, we cannot give cover for the war zone.
Yeah, war is, of course, I mean, those come
Yeah.
under exclusion zones.
Yeah.
So typically an annual sales turnover policy, it will cover your entire business purchase and sales
Enter
both,
sales. Yeah, it is premium is charged on sales.
but not capex. It's only your purchases and sales, but not capital goods purchased.
Capital goods can be covered up to certain extent.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
certain
when you say
percentage.
certain extent, meaning?
Sir, what is 25% something? Yeah, 25%.
But that you have to specify.
Specify. You have to give us in advance.
Okay, but
You have to inform
will
us.
that also cover import of capital goods?
Yes, yes, of course.
Even
Of course,
import
of
is
course,
covered.
Of course.
Okay.
Inter-depot transfer.
One typical issue which comes to most of us, because we are a very heavy capital intensive industry and majority of the really expensive goods are all imported. So in a CIF policy, while many times the supplier, the vendor, he covers the CIF which is from his warehouse, sometimes up to the port or sometimes even up to our own factories, the customs duty, GST element, I mean, what is paid in India to the port authorities and the customs is generally not covered. So what should one do in that case? How can he take a cover for that?
We can extend the policy to cover your custom duties also. See, now I tell you there are two things. Some of the suppliers would give you policy only up to the port, and some would give warehouse to warehouse up to the final destination. Now, some of my visits to overseas, I used to go to insurance company and just to find out why don't you give up to the warehouse to the final destination. They said, "Nay, you have dogs on the road, your roads are not good, cattle are there on the road." I said, those were the olden time, but now we have improved, we are a developed country, we are not underdeveloped. But still their mindset is different. Like for example, when we export to African countries, we don't give warehouse to warehouse, because there are many larceny and theft once it reaches the port. So these are the circumstances.
So, but if so many times the insurance is covered by the foreign seller to us, and they may not be able to cover the additional cost of customs duty, etc. So in that case, what should one do?
No, you can cover that custom duty also.
Separately?
Sir, you can. It can be covered.
There is a product to cover this custom duty, so it can be covered. But you have to actually give us this thing amount of custom duty which are going to incur. Even
Yeah,
suppose
so
your goods are in the bonded warehouse, and any
So that's a separate
that
policy.
is separate policy.
I
that
mean,
is
of
separate
course,
policy.
the
Yeah.
importer would
But
know
here
what is-
also you can include the duty portion also. Whatever the
So
concern.
that would cover just the duty portion
Yeah.
from the customs bonded warehouse to your factory
Yeah, during transit, if
during
anything
transit
happens.
till,
Yeah.
till unloading.
And whatever I bonded warehouse is a storage risk. Basically, it is a storage
Yeah,
risk.
customs bonded,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then there is a third risk which many of us do already cover. So once the machine comes in, there is a risk of damage at the time of installation and the risk of damage at the time of testing, which I believe is called an EAR
Erection
policy.
all risk.
Erection and
It is a erection all risk.
yeah.
So during erection, if any damage happens to the machinery, that can be covered by the separate insurance of erection all risk.
No, not just installation. Even there is a testing period of 1 month, 2 months, even.
That policy covers everything.
Yeah.
During installation till the operation, it becomes operational. During testing period is
Exactly.
also covered in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a different stream of this thing, line of insurance.
Right.
It will not be covered under the marine. Marine will take care
Yeah.
of your transit risk.
Right. So does anybody have any queries on that?
Whether erection policy covers the unloading part also?
Yes, yes, of course. Erection policy has the provision. Loading, unloading both.
So, but does the erection policy cover the unloading or the original fire policy cover it?
Fire policy has nothing to
Sorry,
do
the
with-
marine policy.
No,
The
no,
marine
no.
policy.
Marine policy will give you loading, unloading so far as if it is picked up by the container is picked up by the crane or something, or some hook breaks or the chain breaks and it gets damaged, so that is covered.
Okay, so if at the time of installation, if the machine is already out of the container, say it's on a trailer, and the machine reaches my factory, and at the time of picking up the machine by the crane operator or for some other reason, or by the workers who are unloading it, if for some reason it gets dropped, damaged or whatever, is that covered?
Tushar bhai, once it reaches your premises, the marine policy ceases to operate. Marine policy ceases to operate.
Even
And
if
that,
it is
that
not
it goes in
unloaded?
engineering policy,
No,
erection,
even
all
if
this.
it is not unloaded? Because it says
No.
warehouse to warehouse, so it has not entered
no,
the warehouse.
once it reaches your premises, if see outside, yes, we are there, we are on risk. But once reaches your premises, then our policy ceases to operate.
So, for example, I know of a case many years ago where the policy was FOB up to the port, CIF up to the port. And at the time of unloading, the whole container was dropped by the crane. So, is that covered?
Yes, certainly, certainly. That's what I said, no, loading, unloading is covered under that.
Okay.
And I think endorsement 208, that gives the benefit under marine policy for loading, unloading also.
Okay, great. Anybody? Yeah, Vishy?
Most of the policies that you are talking of are procuring and installing a factory, entire plant. And there are cases where a plant has to be shifted. There are no guidelines for dismantling and reinstallation. You have manuals to install a machine. In such a case, what happens?
See, machineries are shifted from one place to another. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, before the dismantling of machine, inspection is necessary. After the dismantling is done, again inspection is necessary. Then it has to reach the final destination, this another destination. Then again installation is done. That risk can be covered. There is a little loading of extra premium. Erection policy under, not in marine. Marine come erection, transit and erection, trial production, up to trial production it can get covered.
Thank you.
So, Vishy, as you know, we shifted our factory 3 years back, and we took these policies where this entire right from dismantling to re-erection and installation was covered. Yeah, anybody else? Yeah, Shashank.
We had a case where, we had an insurance claim about 20 days back when the machine was damaged on the road. When we were unloading it, we found that it was damaged. Then we called a claim, the surveyor, and he surveyed it. But the company who wanted to give us an invoice saying that these are the parts which are damaged couldn't give us. They said that, they'll only be able to give once the installation is about to complete, and then they would be able to determine the extent of the damage. Because the machine looks okay right now, but we don't know what has happened inside. And it is taking time because the installation process is longer, whereas the surveyor says that it is crossing much beyond the time limit. So what is the time limit there?
You have lodged the claim, right?
Yes. So what is
So
the
then-
time
See, once
limit
the
by
claim
which-
is lodged, then you can express your practical difficulties to the insurance company. They cannot say, or they would never say, they'd be very polite to you that the extension of time is given. But once the machine is open, then they can definitely depute the surveyor to assess the loss. Am I right?
Survey is done, but we don't know the extent of the loss from the
but-
company because it is
Invoice, they require invoice.
sorry.
No, he has the original invoice. What he is saying is, what is the damage and what parts, etc., will be required, that the original machine supplier is saying he will be able to certify only once the machine is installed. So that he's actually able to assess what is the damage.
So what is the time frame by the time the surveyor comes and by the time you need to give the invoice from the company that this is the damage?
Can you specify which company the insurance is from?
I think it would be from ICICI.
Lombard.
ICICI Lombard.
See, there is one practical situation of a settlement ratio. There is one practical situation of settlement ratio. Private companies have very high settlement ratio. It's because when they ask for the document and you are not able to provide the document, I'm talking in general, how it happens. And if you are not able to provide the document, then they close that claim. And in the case of PSU, I can say about New India Assurance, whenever the customer is not able to provide of the document, we don't close the claim. We give him more time frame. We relax it. So it depends from company to company.
And even if it is closed now, after submission of document, it can be reopened because it is not a liability is not repudiated. Only the claims is actually closed for the administrative purpose because the insured cannot submit the documents within reasonable time limit. But once you submit the document, it can be reopened and the claim can be reassessed.
So, Shashank, I hope you get your claim, but on a lighter note, this is where insurance agents like Jagdish Bhai come in.
Yes, of course.
And the insurance agent has a very, very important role to play. So next time you better use his services.
Surely.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So can we get on now from marine to
Now the
next?
next one, I was told to give some information on workmen compensation insurance. Yeah.
All right.
Fire will come. Yeah.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We have time. So
We'll finish as fast as possible. Then fire gentleman is there. He's a
Right.
right technical man.
पीछे जा.
पीछे. Yeah. Employees compensation insurance, or very well known as workmen compensation insurance. The Act provides for the payment of compensation by an employer to his workmen for his dependents in the event of fatal accident, if personal injury is caused to them by the accident arising out of and in the course of their employment. See, this is very essential. Suppose there is an accident, some worker is coming to your factory, but before reaching the factory, he meets with some rail accident or car accident or bus accident, whatever. You cannot repudiate the liability because this is during the course of employment. He has started from his home to come to your factory and there is an accident. So the claim is payable. Similarly,
I'll just add here, Jagdish Bhai. So as per law, the minute a worker or an employee leaves his house, until he reaches back to his house, he is under the service of his employer.
unless otherwise he deviates his route.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you. I'll tell you.
That's not very difficult. So, for
I will tell you.
example,
I'll give you with example. The workman came to one restaurant at Sakinaka. While returning back to Maladi's home, he went and there was an accident. Claim was repudiated. Simple as that. Now the benefits are...
It's very easy. I mean, if you're a normal course of route taken to work, and if it's totally out of the way, then...
that is exception. That is exception.
तेरा problem अलग है, तू कभी direct घर गया ही नहीं.
Sir, that is exception. It can be accepted, no issue. The benefits are fatal injury, permanent total disablement, permanent partial disablement, and temporary disablement.
I have a question here. If he is covered in ESIC, he also get similar kind of compensation. And if this is also there, it is going to top up the ESIC benefit.
See, if you have ESIC, there is no need of workman compensation because once you submit the papers for the claim settlement and if it is found in your salary slip that ESIC deduction is done, claim is not payable.
A claim is not payable.
Yes. So under WC it is not payable, under B it is payable, not under A. Am I right, sir?
The compensation policies for these people who own ESIC covered.
Without ESIC. Those who are not under ESIC should go for this. Yes.
So,
yes.
sir, suppose ESIC, the claim is say now in workman compensation, I believe the compensation is calculated based on a legal calculation of the salary, right? So it's similar to ESIC.
Say age of a person at the time of death and plus income.
So it's not that I can make an insurance for an employee of say 1 crore. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Right.
There is a formula given by
There's a
government.
formula, which is similar to what ESIC does.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 My driver died at the age of 28.
Wait, Amit, 1 second.
So my driver died in the age of 28 last year in my factory, and now he's getting ESIC compensation, his wife and family, whatever salary he's having for life.
Yeah.
These policies, though they are not going to cover by ESIC, but other than non-ESIC, this policy cover this kind of benefit to a
The lump sum. Not for the life,
It's
but the
not
lump
life.
sum. Lump sum
ESIC
compensation.
also I don't think is life,
Yeah.
is it?
Lump sum compensation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, Sanjay, sorry, Sabagya, udhar the-
Okay, one question I had, sir, is that, in the printing industry, there are a lot of contractors who come in play.
It is coming.
Yeah,
It will come. This will come.
So I believe that you can also take a blanket workman compensation without giving names.
See, it is mentioned
Yeah.
here, subcontractors, workmen and casual workmen can also be covered. See, if this policy is unnamed policy, some insurance is based on the total estimated wages that you have to give, and it can be categorized as per the occupation of a person. The rating is charged on the occupation of a person, and what your question answer is here, subcontractors, workmen and casual workmen can be covered, can be insured.
Sir, in that, when you say subcontractors are covered, first of all, the records have to prove that he's been in employment for at least 6 months, I believe.
Not necessarily, even one day.
Okay, and secondly, will unregistered contracts be covered?
Unregistered means you have given them contract in writing.
इधर होता है राइटिंग में सर
नहीं, see, हाँ.
अभी मेरे वहाँ मेटल का काम करने वाला आया ये बना दो थोड़ा करेक्ट इज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर
Yeah, but you have something in writing to them. You have given him contract to work in your factory.
I don't
You,
think so.
you ask for
Sir, generally
Abid
it is
bhai, you
never
ask for the quotation by how much you will charge.
There's
This is my
quotation,
work.
there's a contract.
So that quotation becomes because he has agreed to charge you certain
We
amount.
don't issue POs with these quotations.
Get it to make it more authentic.
This is important, huh?
Yeah. More make it more
See,
legalized.
generally, I will explain you in better way. Generally, in our printing industry, how it works. If there is some particular job comes with us and it is not a regular job, so we hire people from outside. We just call them कि ये जॉब करना है, आप कर पाओगे, आपके पास आदमी है, वो बोला yes I can do it. This is my per piece rate will be. So then he send his person 10 आदमी 15 में whatever it requires. Work is done. He send his invoice and we make the payment. So in such case, how this thing work?
How will you pay? Voucher?
Yeah, we will. He will issue the bill.
Sufficient. That is sufficient proof.
Okay.
Wage register, voucher, something is the card,
there's
wage
no
card.
wage register.
See,
It's a piece rate system. So तुम्हारा 100 पीस किया, हर पीस का 1 रुपया है, 100 रुपया तुम्हारा बिल बन गया, उतना देके जाओ.
Actually,
That's a typical job work contract in our industry.
no, even in job work contract, as per the factory license, you're supposed to make a work permit order for every person coming into
Exactly.
your
So,
organization.
which nobody does.
Which
And you are
nobody
supposed
does.
to deduct, you are supposed to pay ESIC on that also.
Yes.
For even for a
correct.
day.
Exactly.
So in such cases,
I think believe in PF also you have to pay.
EF also you have to pay for a day.
So see, I mean, the fact of the matter is in our industry it doesn't work. So in such cases, God forbid if there is an instance, would the subcontractor or the main contractor be covered?
See, that is what I said, a subcontractor, whether you have, now he rightly said that you have no contract with them, but you are paying them through voucher or check, or you are taking their signature.
But वो तो बाद में ही होएगा ना sir.
नहीं, आपने उसको, see, physically somebody can witness that the person was working here. That is more than sufficient.
Tushar,
Yeah.
just if your factory is covered under ESIC, if a person comes to you even for a day,
Like that what you
listen
are
to me,
saying
listen to
is-
me. So if you are not deducting ESIC, workman compensation does not come into picture because your factory is covered under ESIC.
See, Sanjay,
No.
that's
Not
what
necessary,
I'm trying
not
to
necessary.
say. It's
Even subcontractors जो आपने बोला ना, you are supposed to deduct ESIC for
Arey,
subcontractor
Sanjay,
also.
what you are saying is a legal position. We are not discussing legal position.
All workers
here.
are not under ESIC.
I have a question. Like if we draw a parallel to the construction industry, so when you make a building, so typically you have a lot of these workers coming in every day. नाके से भी लोग आते हैं. So normally all the builders take a very generic umbrella.
Yes.
And I think that also can be applicable in our case.
I've written
wherein-
unnamed-
Yeah, so
unnamed
that's what I'm trying to
policy.
tell you. This has got nothing to do with PF and ESIC. Because in the construction industry also it's a general umbrella what you take, and you take for 100 people
So
with
to
certain
put
wages.
the question in plain and simple terms, if a company takes that umbrella policy for subcontractors and they don't have a written contract, they don't have any written document, वैसे नाके से उनको बुलाया 10 आदमी को और उनमें से एक का कुछ मिसअप होने के कारण उसको लग गया, तब तक कुछ भी पेमेंट नहीं हुआ है, ना कोई राइटिंग में डॉक्यूमेंट हुआ है, तो will such a person be covered?
Yes. I tell you how. Have you made the payment to insurance company for insuring those people?
Yeah, so
Okay. Can somebody be a witness that this has happened in our
Yes.
factory? claim is payable. 100%.
Fine. Okay.
It can be covered. No issue.
Okay, can we go on? Next, sir.
Yeah.
Further.
Next. Now, classification of risk is on the basis of their work and workplace. Workplace, why? If somebody is working in water, the risk is different. Somebody is working on mountain or building, like rightly you said, which could be anywhere in India. If there are more than one place, we can put in policy also. If you are 3-4 buildings are there, so we can put it anywhere in India, anywhere in Maharashtra, anywhere in Mumbai, similarly. But very important, all or none. You have to insure all workmen or none.
Okay.
You cannot have selection or choice. That out of 50, I will insure only 100. Or out of 50, I will insure only 5 because 50 को एक साथ में कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. Not like that. You have to insure all or none. Okay. We can cover occupational hazard under the policy. Now, there are sulfur factory. You know, something happens, gets swollen the neck. This can also get covered by paying extra premium.
Okay.
Next.
Sir, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute.
If there is a safety policy, suppose you have a policy that normally about 10 feet height or 8 feet height, you have to use the helmet and ladder, and suppose and worker goes outside and he falls down, some get injured. Does he get the this compensation as insured? If his company is insured that people, unnamed policy.
Yes.
But आप बोले नहीं उसने safety gear पहना नहीं था, ये नहीं था, वो that could not be the reason.
That will not be because that will come with the police. Police will definitely harass you. Helmet क्यों नहीं था, belt क्यों नहीं था, gumboot क्यों नहीं था, gloves क्यों नहीं था? They will definitely question you.
Okay.
But your policy,
no,
okay.
No.
Okay.
Now there are some exclusions. Accidents while workmen not on duty, because we explained you this is on duty policy. This is an indemnity policy, whereas personal accident is a benefit policy. So when they are not on duty, risk is not covered, you are not liable to pay. Intoxicated alcohol and drug. Name of workman not listed with employer. Your question answer is here. Workmen meet with the accident on more hazardous duty than declared for insurance. Now, in case में ऐसा है कि ऐसा लिखा है कि he is on office work, but he is doing some manual work, and it falls down, and there is an injury. No claim is not payable. Now there is an extension of risk. Sorry.
Just go back to the previous slide.
Chalo.
Name of the workman not listed with the employer.
Yeah.
There's a slight contradiction there because one place you are saying even an unnamed worker is covered. And
Yes,
this is
yes. Unnamed worker, you don't have to give it to us. Names you don't have to give it to us. There is no responsibility to give it to us, but it should be there on your record.
No, it won't be there if it is a contractor's worker coming for a day or two and going back.
Contractor will have the name of the
Even
person.
that
The
may not be
subcontractor's employees we are covering.
That may not be a written contract. That's what I'm saying.
No, what he means, Vishy, is that there are two parts to this. One is you've actually declared the names of your workers to the insurance company.
No, we don't
already.
want.
Yeah, so if that is not done, the unnamed worker who is covered, so if it's a contractor, so you will look at the contractor's muster, maybe your own muster where your inward has been done, ki subah 8 baje aaya, 10 baje aaya.
Card.
Yeah,
yes.
normal card.
Card, voucher,
that is
anything.
proof that he is the...
No, card भी नहीं रहेगा, कुछ भी नहीं रहेगा. That is clarified.
बना लो
Somebody
ना.
has to बना लो ना. He is already
बनाना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो नहीं होएगा.
He's clarified that point earlier, but somebody giving a witness कि this guy was working is enough.
but उसका कुछ नाम कहीं तो कार्ड में पैसे देने के लिए तो कार्ड बनाओगे, वाउचर बनाओगे.
Only in the voucher.
ठीक है ना, that
But
is
that be
accepted.
खाली विटनेस देने से नहीं होगा, कुछ तो डॉक्यूमेंट
बनियानी
लगेगा
दुकान
ना
ना थी
प्रूफ
भाई.
करने के लिए.
हाँ जी.
Yeah. So that is all right. Now extension. The policy can be extended to include medical expenses. This medical expense is payable only in case of accident during the course of on duty. Then only it is payable, and there are certain the limits up to 25,000, 50,000, 1 lakh or 200,000 per case. You have to pay extra premium on that.
Okay.
Now,
can I ask
Mr. Biswaranjan.
Mr. Biswaranjan, he is a fire policy expert. Before he comes on stage, we were actually going to cover 6 topics, and fire is of course one of the most important. So the other was marine, workmen compensation, medical, I'll just come to that. Fire is there, and one more was there, I'm forgetting which one. PK, help me. So before we go on to fire, So medical compensation, of course, we are all aware of individual Mediclaim policies, but there are also group Mediclaim policies for our companies and our employees. You can actually cover not just the employee, but even their families. And I can tell you for sure that these are really very useful as an incentive to your employee. The premium charge is very, very minimal. And of course, you can limit the amount of cover, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakhs, whatever. We as a company, we have been doing it for many years, all employees who are not under ESIC. So if you're under ESIC, then automatically the government is covering you and your family. But if you're not under ESIC, all our employees are covered once they complete 1 year of service. And I can tell you, they are free to take treatment anywhere. You don't have to just restrict yourself to an ESIC hospital, where the hospitals have now become very good, but still employees are, sort of not so willing to go there. They want to go to private hospitals. So this is one cover which we all must seriously consider. Yes, and we'll go on to fire. PK, what was the 6th item? Sorry? Yeah, please.
Can I say
Yeah,
something on
gratuity.
group Mediclaim policy?
Udhar hai.
See, again, Tushar bhai rightly said that you can have only employees or 1+3, that is spouse and 2 dependent children, and you can have 1+5, the dependent parents also.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is a risk. If you add dependent parents, your loss ratio will go up. Then premium will go up. But you can have like day 1 cover, you can have PD, that is pre-existing disease covered, you can enhance room rent limits, you can have maternity cover also. There also you can have 3 months waiting period, 6 months waiting period, 9 months waiting period. You can have corporate buffer also. See, this is a tailor-made, custom-made policy. What is your requirement? We can make the policy for your requirement. Now recently we have done for printmen. And I don't know, I think he can only say whether they are happy or not.
Also, in this policy, you can have the top-up policies, if you guys understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So your employees can be having their own medical or company-provided medical cover of, say, 3 lakhs of rupees, which is, say, at a premium, for example, of 10,000 rupees, for example. You can have a cover, top-up cover of, say, from 3 lakh to 25 lakhs, and that extra 22 lakhs is going to cost you maybe only 2,000 rupees.
Very minimal.
Very minimal, as all top-up covers go.
Because there is a threshold under the policy. The threshold will get covered in your other policy.
Yeah, and before, sorry, just make you wait for 2 more minutes. The 5th insurance that I was talking about was gratuity. We are all subject to gratuity once our employees complete 5 years of service. So most companies, I'm sure new.
Yeah, that is out of the scope of general insurance.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I know life insurance, our policies with life LIC. So even you can take policies for gratuity so that whenever your employee retires or even leaves your service, you can compensate him from that premium that you're regularly depositing. The advantage in that is that the premium paid every year is tax deductible. Correct. You can straight write off against your profit and loss. So for example, if your employee has worked for you for say 20 years, uska gratuity nikla 10 lakh rupiya. Once it comes all in one shot, 10 lakh rupees, it's a big amount. But whereas every year you may be paying just 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees for insuring say 50 of your employees who have completed 4 years of service. So 4 years is the principle by which these companies go, because 4 saal ho gaya to agle 12 mahine mein kabhi bhi 5 saal ho sakta. So I would strongly advise all you people to speak to your agents and if not, contact maybe LIC directly or some other insurance, even the private guys do it. It's yeah, LIC, we have been doing LIC for God knows how long. Yeah, so now we come to the fire part of it. So Mr. Biswaranjan, who is an expert on the subject of fire policy, one of the most feared things which some of us may have experienced, God forbid. So can you just share some light on how this works and how the values are calculated and how the whole claim procedure is executed?
Hello. For property insurance, first thing, what are the materials that to be covered? First is your fixed assets, then its stocks and your machineries and your building for your manufacturing unit and for your warehouses. What are the risks? First thing is fire hazard. In fire, while I talk about fire, it will cover all the fire and allied perils that we will talk about in some time. Then it can be your expensive equipment that is prone to breakdown. Then it is your stock damage risk in your warehouses. Then it is a business interruption. Sometimes your manufacturing unit stops working due to the fire and your business interruption halts, business halts, and we covered that as well. The essential coverages, this is the fire insurance, and second the machinery insurance, and third in business interruption. What are the damages we covered? The perils which are covered in the SFSP, standard SFSP policy. Now you must be knowing that as per the IRDA guideline, the insurance policies for fire are issued in 3 phases. For 5 crore sum insured, we are issuing Sukshma Udyam policy. Then for 5 to 50, we are issuing the Laghu Udyam policy. And for 50, the standard fire and special perils policy. That was erstwhile, which was applicable, that is being continued. In that SFSP policy,
I'd like to add here, the values he's talking about are not your turnover. They are based on the assets, value of the assets insured. And the value of the assets have to be declared by you to the insurance company. So if you, say for your example, you have a printing machine which has a market value of 10 crores. And if your book value is only 2 crores. And if you are taking the policy by declaring it as only 2 crores, in case of an eventuality, you will get compensated only to the extent of the 2 crores pro rata. You will not. Yeah, even if it is. It will be under insurance, and even if it is a. Could you please repeat that? Yeah. So, for example, if your market value today of your machine, say it's a Heidelberg 6 color, whatever, is 10 crores, which is obviously an estimated value. There is no way of sort of being certain that your market value is 10 crores. But from whatever comparatives you see in the market in second hand, as you all know, ours second hand industry is a very vibrant industry. So it's quite easy to, get an approximate value. So if it's 10 crores, but your book value is obviously not, if your machine has been with you for say 10 years, your book value is going to be, say for example, 2 crores. Now the mistake which is generally done is that people insure their machinery based on the book value. तो 2 करोड़ का उसने इंश्योरेंस ले लिया. God forbid कुछ हुआ डैमेज, फ्लड, फायर, whatever, और तुम्हारा तो 10 करोड़ का मशीन गया पानी में. So you will want 10 crores from the insurance company, which they will not give it to you because you have insured it for only 2 crores. Not only that, will be a further cut on it because there is an under insurance. So 2 crore भी नहीं मिलने वाला. So, but even if you have a reinstatement clause, it has to be market replacement value. Reinstate करने तो reinstatement clause हुआ तो pro rata maximum तुमको 2 crore ही देने वाला है. Maximum 10 crore नहीं देने वाला. So if you permit me, I'll just share our own personal experience here because we are on the subject. So many of you are aware that in my factory there was a small fire on 12th May 2015. I remember the date very well. It's crystal clear in my memory. So there was a small fire, and we captured the whole thing on camera, CCTV camera, which saved us a lot of pain. So there was a small fire in the varnish pump. But because of that fire, the fire brigade was called. पूरा machine को पानी मार दिया. Machine जितना fire से नहीं damage हुआ, पानी से all the electronics got damaged. And there was, so when the surveyor came, and the surveyor was also extremely helpful, let me tell you that. They all take their pound of flesh, but it was well worth it. So Heidelberg officially was called in कि भाई कितने का खर्चा है? बोला 1.5 करोड़ का electronics. Surveyor, are you sure 1.5 करोड़ का? उसको फिर से पूछो कितने का है? 3 करोड़ का. Surveyor told नहीं, उसको वापस से पूछो, अगर सब कुछ गया तो क्या? 6 करोड़ का. What he was getting at is, so he asked us, what do you actually want? So ideally we want to replace this machine because इसको कितना भी repair करे ठीक नहीं होने वाला. So he was trying to push us and the insurance company, which was again a private company at that point of time, कि उसका वैल्यू ऐसा हो जाए, एंड सीरियसली वी नेवर न्यू कितना खर्चा होने वाला है. इवन हाइडलबर्ग वाज सेइंग वी कैन नॉट से कितना होने वाला है. सो जो भी हो सकता है डाल दो. सो ही वाज पुशिंग अस कि उसको वैल्यू इतना तुम बताओ. He is forced to write off the entire machine and give you a full reinstatement value. Luckily, we were insured for market value that time, which was around 6.5 crores, if I remember correctly. It took us, so this happened on the 12th of May. June, July, August, 14th of August, I distinctly remember, I was headed to my house in Nasik. I reached where my present factory is, near Padga, and I got an SMS. 2 crores transferred to your account. Because my fight with the insurance company was कि मेरे को अगर नया मशीन लाने का मैं पैसा किधर से लाऊं? मेरे को LC खोलना है, पैसा देना है, तो मेरे पास 2 करोड़ रुपया नहीं है या नहीं, वो अलग बात है. So we were fighting with them. So the receipt of the amount is admission of claim by the insurance company. Without, there is only 2 ways, correct me if I am wrong, sir. There is only 2 ways to be certain that your claim has been admitted. Either they give it to you in writing, कि भाई yes, your claim has been accepted and go forward with the further process, or they give you. So the 2 crores was just an advance. Finally, my machine came in around January, and finally I took the entire claim of 6 crores from them. At that point of time, my agent was of course very good. The surveyor he guided us beautifully. In fact, he's been a speaker, I think, in STB, Yazad Daruwala, if some of us may recall, particularly the STB guys. And also hats off to the insurance company. They made life very easy for us, and it was sailed through, and I'm sure so is New India. We all know that there has been another fire, very big fire, 6 months back in one of our, brethren who's also a member of MMS. He was supposed to be here today, but for some reasons he could not. There has been recently a small fire in Mukesh Tulshan's office, and he is around 3 months back. So we can offline maybe discuss with him his experience. Yes, sir, please. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, thank you.
आपका बढ़िया एक्सपीरियंस सर इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के साथ. आई वुड होप कि इट वाज न्यू इंडिया.
No, I'm sorry, it was not. Okay. It was a private company.
So I will come back to that also. Those first thing that जैसे सर ने बोला कि the sum insured that I talked about in the Sukshma policy for 5 crore, that 5 crore will depend on your sum insured of that building, complete building sum insured, plus the plant and machinery building, all the plant and machinery is your, and the stock in that manufacturing unit. All that adding up, if it is 5 crore below, then we will issue the Sukshma policy, that policy breakup will happen. And for SFSP, the perils covered, we are covering fire, lightning, explosion, aircraft damage, RSMD. In RSMD, terrorism is covered. Then STFI, impact by rail and road vehicle, impact damage. Then landslide, subslide, bursting and overflowing of water tanks, leakage of sprinkler. Then missile testing operation, bushfire, pollution, and any insured peril resulting from a pollution. These are all covered.
Can I ask a question now?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, please.
In my factory,
Okay.
Mike.
I was using a laser machine with air condition.
Okay.
And because the air condition conked off, the laser machine got fire. I didn't got the compensation because this is not, they said this is not because of some short circuit. Because your AC conked off, and that's why laser machine got fire. I didn't got single penny.
The machine that got damaged, the short circuit started from that machine?
Because laser required AC.
Okay.
And AC conked off.
Okay. Because of short circuit?
No.
Some of shut off.
Okay.
Kharab ho gaya, whatever.
Okay.
And the operator ko malum nahi pada. And then because laser generate lot of heat, so it got fire.
Okay.
The machine pura damage ho gaya.
Okay. That machine must not be covered.
No, machine was covered.
The fire should be covered.
No, they didn't give.
Okay.
Which company? National? I mean, is it?
I'll not remember now.
No,
but
PSU or private?
No idea.
No, in
I
this
would
case,
think.
Sir, in an ideal case, the machine that started that thing, that machine is not covered.
Machine was covered, but they said the fire because of AC. That's why you will not get.
No, that was wrong. That is a wrong
that's
impression.
wrong,
The fire should have been covered. That machine could have not have been covered in fire policy.
So this is important because we are a layman.
Okay.
And people take us for ride. Even surveyor, even the insurance agency. शादी के बाद को और शादी के पहले का जो discussion है वैसा ही है.
Amit, So that's what I'll repeat. You should use the services of Jagdish Bhai.
Sorry to add my comment over here. In general cases, like Tushar Bhai is very lucky, but most of the cases, insurance company try to avoid the claims. It is common perception over here. Yes, when they want a premium, they show us so many things and they take the premium, and when actual
In
claim
fact,
time comes,
there is another experience of mine for an imported machine. I would not like to name the company. We had to fight 2.5 years. And we had to take it to the Chennai head office or whatever it is called. 2.5 years by threatening to go legal, then we got the claim.
in India, this is a perception by most of the insurance company. They, when their time comes to give the claim, they try and avoid as much as jitna kaat sakte kaato.
I agree with that. That is a perception. That is a national perception.
The surveyor who comes to do the survey, they try to find the faults कि अपनी गलती से नहीं, उनकी गलती से हो गई तो fire नहीं हुआ, whatever. So they can avoid it. But this is a fact.
Nitin bhai, Hemant has a question behind you.
No, I don't have a question. I want to make it clear to people that when we buy a policy, we should make sure that everything is covered under the policy, because a lot of time the agents, just to make us understand that you will have to pay a lower premium, they give us a policy which does not cover certain aspects. Like I'll name a particular, you have ITC, correct? ITC 1, ITC 2 or something of that sort. So under ITC 2, certain items are not covered, like, you know, when you are transiting a machine, like what we talked about, the insurance on the just the custom duty amount. So if it is covered under ITC 2, then if there's an accident on the way, which is not due to an impact with another vehicle or anything, it does not get covered. It has to be ITC 1 to have it covered, even if the damage happens without an accident.
ITC is always covered.
No, there is a clause in ITC, 1 and 2. That's what. So that's what.
No. There are 3 clauses: ITC A, ITC B, ITC C.
हाँ, तो ITC A भी होएगा. मैं 1, 2 बोल रहा हूँ. मतलब वो ठीक है.
ITC is always covered. So what you're telling is right. To lower the premium, people opt for ITC B, ITC C.
That is what happens.
It's not generally. It's not the people who own up. It's the agents. Where भाई दूसरे एजेंट ने 10,000 दिया, मैं तुम्हारा 6,000 में काम कर दूंगा. So that's what happens.
Tushar, I've got a point.
Yeah.
So generally what happens is that we buy our policies from agents. We don't really interact directly with the company. Are there specific departments in all insurance companies where we can approach and get them to explain to us what should be the suitable policy that we should take? Because as Tushar rightly mentioned, we are looking at the bottom line. कोई 1.25 लाख बोल रहा है और उसके कोई 5-7 हज़ार 10,000 कमती देता है, तो because we really cannot understand the fine print. So is there a way whereby, is there any typical department in every insurance company, say let us talk about NIA, where we can actually sit and talk and explain to them, who can survey our factories and give us the correct picture of what our insurance should be?
See, what you can do is, like today what we have kind of discussion, we can have a seminar, something of that kind, and we can get some experts.
No, this is one-to-one. I'm saying for my individual company.
One point I will like to tell you. First of all, we have to differentiate between agents and brokers. They both are not same. Actually, agent is dedicated to an office and he will be there in that office for last 25 years, 30 years. And broker, if like that, jump from here to there. So when claim occurs, you can catch that agent. And the agent will get all the approvals from that office. So the approvals which he is getting with the rate which he is quoting is authentic. Means you can take it as an official stand of the company. And the same cannot be said about the broker.
No,
because
so
we
our
will go
problem
to
is...
so many companies.
No. Our problem is that we don't even know how to ask for the correct insurance policy from you. So is there any specific, just like you have a surveyor, do you have an advisor who can come and tell us कि अगर आप ये लोगे तो आपके benefit का है? Because we were just talking about to one of our friends here inside, and he went to a very, very professional company which guided him exactly what he should do. And that's why he's able to take every claim. Now we generally look at the bottom line, and I'm sure that I cannot find a single person who can read the fine print once the insurance policy comes. I, as a matter of fact, send my policy to Tushar कि भाई तू पढ़ के बता ये ठीक है कि नहीं है. But I'm sure he must have spent a minute and a half over that and said, हाँ सब ठीक है जाने दे. So I can just
मैं तो
imagine
ये
what.
देखता हूँ जो मैंने लिया वो तूने लिया कि नहीं.
Yeah. So his question to me is कि तेरे को इतना सस्ता कैसे मिला? You know, that's the only comment he had. So is there a special advisory department in every insurance company? Let's talk about NIA, which can guide us. आप seminar कितना भी करो, आप हमको common platform पे कितना भी idea दो, can we actually dip into your experience to guide us correctly?
We can have one-to-one also, there is no issue.
नहीं, when he says that, no sir, देखिए हमारे more than 500 members हैं. अभी यहाँ पे तो मुश्किल से 100 आए हैं.
Sir, I have a classic example to give. 3 or 4 years back, there was multifold increase in the insurance premium of our industry, printing and packaging. माने 100 रुपये का इंश्योरेंस था वो सीधा 400 रुपया हो गया, 350 रुपया हो गया था. सो वो टाइम पे I this thing contacted 3-4 different companies and advisors and consultants. एक जन ने बोला कि आप ये पर्टिकुलर डेफिनेशन में नहीं आता, और मैं तुषार मैंने तेरे से बात भी किया था इसके ऊपर, दैट प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री ये इसमें दिस पर्टिकुलर जो कोई पर्टिकुलर क्लॉज था, अभी मैं भूल रहा हूँ, कि उसमें नहीं है, आप वो सस्ते वाले में जा सकते हो. बट माई एडवाइज़र हु इज़ करेंटली माई एडवाइज़र टोल्ड मी कैटेगोरिकली कि इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम 4 गुना बढ़ेगा, भरना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज your industry is classified in this particular classification, and misclassification will result into zero claim settlement. So don't fall under any wrong presentation given by the so-called brokers or the agents के सस्ता करने के लिए आपको ये
वो एडवाइजर अगर मैं था तो मेरा फीस भेज देना है. Okay. Yes, go on, sir.
Just 1 second on more on this. So like what you are asking about someone guiding us. So there are these agents, like not agents I would say, but these what do you call, the people who do survey. So some of the surveyors even do this job where they guide you and they tell you what is the right. They will never do that.
As Iqbal, as I understand, currently they don't have this advisory cell. But our request from our
agents are our advisors only. Yeah.
नहीं, agents का भी क्या है सर, जैसे आपने बोला एजेंट होते हैं और ब्रोकर होते हैं.
नहीं सर, आप समझिए कि एजेंट्स जैसे कोटाड़ा जी है, ओके, तो ये 25-30 साल से एक ही ऑफिस में एसोसिएटेड है.
बॉस,
ऐसा नहीं है कि
सर विद ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट एजेंट को पूरा पता ही नहीं होता.
हमको जो एजेंट ने आईटीसी भी दिया था ना, वो एजेंट ही था, ब्रोकर नहीं था.
Anyway, we cannot take names, sir. Let's go on. So please, yeah.
Just to add your point, जो इंश्योरेंस के आपने ये बोला ना कि what cover to be taken and what cover not to be taken, कौन सा प्रोडक्ट सही रहेगा, जैसे ITC A, B, what should I opt for? इसका actually the job of this at a first hand, it is of the intermediary that you are in touch with. तो अगर आपका एजेंट आपको सही नहीं प्रोडक्ट नहीं दे रहा है, सही कवर नहीं दे रहा है, you should change it. First thing. First thing. Second, first thing वही है सर. First touch आप इंटरमीडिएट के थ्रू ही इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के पास आ रहे हैं. That is the nature of the business we are doing in India. अगर इंश्योरेंस कंपनी आपको डायरेक्टली एडवाइजरी देने लगी, then the job of the agents and the brokers will be on toss. तो फर्स्ट थिंग है, आपको इंटरमीडियरी, यू विल हैव टू चूज ए गुड इंटरमीडियरी. हाउ टू चूज ए गुड इंटरमीडियरी? आई डोंट थिंक इंश्योरेंस कंपनी कैन सजेस्ट you for that. You have to do the judgment and search for yourself. First thing. And the second thing, जैसे आपने बोला सर, I think इंडस्ट्री का प्रीमियम आपका 100 रुपीज़ था, it will be increasing to 400 रुपीज़. तो ये निश्चिंत रहिए कि अभी रिसेंटली we are going down the line. अभी आपको रिसेंटली 400 से हम फिर से 100 पे ही आ रहे हैं या फिर 50 पे ही आ रहे हैं. तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज आर गेटिंग लेस एंड लेस प्रीमियम दिस डेज.
No, getting less premium for the same value.
Same value.
I think we should all switch immediately to New India.
नो सर, वो 4 गुना जो आप बोल रहे हैं वो बढ़ गया था, लेकिन वो था कि 2020 में IAB इम्पोज किया था आईडीए ने, उस कारण से रेट कैन नॉट बी रिलैक्स, पर वो अभी विड्रॉ कर लिया गया है, तो इसलिए रेट्स अभी रिलैक्स हो.
सर कब से विड्रॉ हुआ?
ये अभी लास्ट ईयर.
This has been last year.
Okay, great, fantastic.
I hope कि आपका रिन्यूअल में आपको प्रीमियम कम आया होगा.
मेरा तो मई में हुआ, कुछ भी कम नहीं हुआ मेरा तो. Really? Okay, great. So we all need to bargain hard. Go on, sir.
Sure.
On reinstatement and market value.
हाँ, that thing सर ने जब बोला था कि सम इंश्योर्ड आपको क्या ऑप्ट करना चाहिए, This is that differentiation कि reinstatement value basis और market value basis. जो example था सर का उसमें जैसा था कि 10 crore का machinery था, if you are opting for a 10 crore sum insured at the time of insurance, that is called reinstatement value basis, so that it will be a new replacement cost of that machine. If the machine gets totally damaged, you will get a 10 crore claim. Correct. You have to cover it for 10 crore.
मार्केट
You have to cover
वैल्यू
it.
इज इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन. मार्केट वैल्यू अगर तुम आज मशीन बेचोगे फॉर एग्जांपल, वो 10 करोड़ का है तो है, उसका डेप्रिसिएशन से कोई संबंध नहीं है, तुम्हारा बुक वैल्यू से कोई संबंध नहीं है.
You have to cover it for the new replacement cost.
सर फॉर दिस रीइंस्टेटमेंट, जैसे तुषार भाई ने बोला कि मशीन की मार्केट वैल्यू 10 करोड़ है, मार्केट वैल्यू.
हाँ, on that example, market value.
उनका 6 साल पुराना मशीन है,
Correct.
10 करोड़ की मार्केट वैल्यू है, और WDV उनकी 2 करोड़ है.
Correct.
नाउ द ब्रांड न्यू मशीन की कॉस्ट 15 करोड़ है.
Correct.
सो अगर मैं 15 करोड़ का रीइंस्टेटमेंट वैल्यू, what we do is that we call for the quotation from the machine manufacturer every year we add the duty, we add the GST, everything. और अगर वो 18 करोड़ होता है तो मैं 18 करोड़ का रीइंस्टेटमेंट वैल्यू दिखाता हूँ along with the invoice, and I pay premium on 18 crores. So in case of total loss मुझे 18 करोड़ मिलेगा.
The new replacement cost.
New replacement.
Correct.
पूरा 18 मिलेगा.
पूरा 18
अगर उसकी मशीन भी पुरानी है तो भी.
हाँ, कितना भी हो. मैंने
So from whatever I had understood at the time of our fire, that you cannot profit
Correct.
out of insurance.
No, it is not a profit, I don't think.
So if his original machine is of 5-10 years old, which is having market value of 10 crore, say his machine is, say for example 10 years old. Today in 2024, he will get a brand new machine.
Brand new.
If he has covered it for 15 crore.
Yeah.
तुषार, I'm paying 18 crore ना, तो उसमें पूरा मिलेगा.
If he has opted for that sum insured, if he has given us the premium for the sum insured of 18 crore, he will get a new one. He will get that at the time of claim.
Is that so, sir? That's what I'm saying. He is saying betterment is not payable.
It will be for like replacement.
So like for like 15 साल पुराना मशीन में कुछ फीचर्स होंगे और भी नए मशीन में उससे कुछ न कुछ ज्यादा ही
You will
होने
get some
वाला है.
depreciation on that. We'll have some depreciation for that part. Correct.
उधर है संजय के पास.
Sir, just 1 second, sir.
Okay.
On that machinery, if it is a new upgraded machinery, you have opted for 18 crore sum insured, it is okay. But you have bought a new machinery that is upgraded version of that old machinery, there will be some depreciation on that
There will
front.
be some deduction.
Only on that front.
Only on that.
That upgradation front.
Correct.
Hemant.
No, but then who
One sec, Saubhagya.
who decides what is the upgradation? Like now you have said, you have clarified that I bought a machine 10. एक second. I bought a machine 10 years back, which was valued at 10, maybe 8 crores at that time, or 10 crores at that time. Today that machine's value is 8 crores, market value.
Correct.
And today a similar machine, which has got many add-on features, and the old machine is now not available. Correct? So we go for a new machine, which today is costing 15 CR. So if I pay premium as for 15 CR, so the difference of features between the old model and the new model will be deducted.
Correct.
Fully.
That is a job of our surveyors. That is a job of our surveyors.
Yeah, I understand. But will it be deducted fully or partially?
Partially. This will be a partial deduction only on that upgradation front.
Okay.
No, तो upgradation का समझो 2 करोड़ का upgradation हुआ है, तो पूरा 2 करोड़ माइनस होएगा या 2 करोड़ में भी percentage wise माइनस होएगा?
You need to take this offline, Hemant, because we're running out of time. So kindly.
On a market value basis, the replacement value minus depreciation, you can take the sum insured for that. Then for stock, there is no restatement value. Stock is always covered in market value basis. All the building machinery, furniture fixtures, you can cover on reinstatement value basis.
Okay. Next.
Previous.
पहले वाला. और पहले वाला.
Previous. This is the example of that under insurance. Like in the first graph, you see that value of the value at risk is 1,000, but he has taken the sum insured at around 500. He has taken 50%. So at the time of claim, if the loss is 400, the claim payable will be 200. On that front only.
It's pro rata.
It's pro rata.
Next.
This is the new 3 products that have been mandated by IRDA that I told about for MSMEs. Lagu Griha Raksha policy for dwellings, cooperative houses, your individual houses. Then Sukshma Udyam Suraksha and Lagu Udyam Suraksha. The major break is that on that sum insured front, the major difference. And why IRDA has come up with this, this will be a standard product for all the insurance companies, and there will be no confusion for what cover who is giving that. So it will be standard cover and standard exclusions for all 2 products, all across all insurance companies. So you can only check the premium and go for the insurance company. Next, business interruption. Business interruption is, as you know, when a loss happens, your factory stops working, then you will have some loss of profit. We cover that as well. For this, net profit plus standing charges. It will be the total, the sum insured you will opt for it. It should be the net profit plus standing charges. What are included in the standing charges? You can check there, salaries, taxes, interest, all the charges which you have to bear, even though your factory stops working. You will have to take that sum insured as well. That will be your gross profit. And we take that sum insured and you have to take for 1 year. Indemnity period, you can opt for 12 months, 24 months indemnity period for 1 loss. That way you have to take the sum insured. Next, industrial all risk policy. This is an included policy for, in one policy you get the coverage of fire, the coverage for machinery insurance, and the coverage for flop, fire loss of profit in one policy. So in earlier times, IR policy was only restricted to the factories and the units which were greater than 100 crores. Now we are extending IR policy to small factories as well, but not like 5-10 crores, but it should be a substantial 20-25 crores we are offering IR policy to them. This has 2 sections, MD and business interruption. Both are covered in that. In an industrial all risk policy, the major difference is that it is an all risk policy, so that the perils are not specified. Only the exclusions are specified. So anything that is not mentioned in the exclusion is covered. Yes, in industrial all risk policy, you have all are opting for SFSP policy and flop policy separately. If you combine it for an IR policy, you get the coverage of only for the exclusions which are mentioned in the policy. You will get the policy clauses. The exclusions will be mentioned in that. Only those exclusions will be excluded. All other covers will be covered. It is an all risk policy in that front. The perils will not be specified. And the second thing, second benefit of IR policy is that under insurance up to 15% is applicable on that. Like if you have, your total sum insured should be 100 crores, but you have opted the sum insured as 85 crores. We will not apply under insurance in that. The 15% under insurance will be waived. This is also holds true for the Lagu Sukshma policies also.
So, here.
Yes, sir.
So, let us suppose you have taken an insurance of 15% less.
15%, okay.
Ideally, we have taken 15% less, but later on we find out that the it was maybe 20%. So then,
sir, first thing is we do not encourage it that you know that it is 15% less and you are opting for it. Yes. This should be incidental. This 15% waiver should be incidental, that you didn't know about it. If you are knowing that your sum insured is 100 crore, you should cover it for 100 crore. You shouldn't cover for 85 crore. We will not encourage that. Done. Thank you.
Okay, great. So that brings us to the end of this insurance seminar. One last question, please, Vishy.
Not really a question, any of the subjects covered. You have covered business interruption, you have covered workmen compensation and all. One aspect I would like someone to cover in brief is infidelity insurance.
Are we done?
No, infidelity is covered, but there is a separate line of insurance which is called the fidelity guarantee insurance. If there is a dishonesty committed or any financial loss suffered by you because of the infidelity of the employees, there is a separate cover under fidelity guarantee insurance policy. Okay, it can be covered under separate if you want a separate session.
There is also burglary insurance which... No, I'm saying there is also...
Infidelity is covered. Infidelity is there.
No, infidelity can be covered, but it will be covered only for the employees, and the employees should have been recruited after a due process, means proper certification, validation, and all that. Then only it is covered. It is not covered for the contractual employee or something like that. Okay.
Great. Thank you very much, sir. Highly obliged for your presentation. I'm sure a lot of learning has happened here. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, thank you. It will be, yes, it will be.
Presentation.
Great.
नो कॉन्फिडेंशियल कुछ नहीं है इसमें, हम लोग शेयर कर सकते हैं उसमें.
So can I ask Tejas Tanna to please come on stage? We would like to felicitate the panelists. Yeah. One minute. So we also have some felicitation for the other panelists. Saubhagya, can you please come on stage? Ankul, can I ask you to step forward? Amit bhai. All done. Thank you, sirs. Can the audience give them a round of applause for the excellent? Thank you. Thank you once again. Can I now call upon the team of Astra to come up and give their presentation? Since you are vendors, I think I can demand that you finish it off quickly. Hi, Murthy Saab. Mr. Murthy, you better come up front. You cannot be sitting there for the presentation.